He's running around with his top off saying he's going to do this and that, but Carl was there present. Like, if you were really going to do it, you'd just do it. Do you know what I mean? You would just do it. I think he's a proper bully and he talks about fighting man. I don't buy none of it. I don't buy it. Him and Tommy aren't fighting man. Peter's a proper fella. I've been in this boxing world and I don't think I've ever heard anyone say a wrong word about Peter. I've met Shane. Shane's a very nice fella. I don't know how they feel about me now, obviously with the John and Tommy thing, but John's a proper bully. I've seen what he's done with Carl Frampton as well. He just don't do that. I think he picks his mark. I've seen him headbutt like lads south of SARS, I'll be honest. I just think John Froch, I think he's a bully.
Darren Till has taken a shot at John Fury for calling out Carl Froch and then backing away from the fight. In response, Fury brushed off the criticism from Froch, claiming plenty of people talk about confronting him, but rarely follow through. According to Fury, many are simply chasing attention and online publicity rather than stepping up to settle things face to face.
But like I say, wanting to do it and doing it's two different things, isn't it? There's a million people want to punch my head in. Where are they today? Where are they today? here's the place to punch my head in, isn't it? Where they can get famous. But they won't do it. They want to talk a good fight, don't they? They're all internet warriors, you know, just looking for clickbait and a kick up the arse of somebody's good name, you know, so we know what they are.
Moreover, Carl Froch criticized John Fury, accusing him of making loud challenges while avoiding real fights. Froch pointed out that Fury previously had opportunities to face opponents like Joe Egan, but never followed through, suggesting he has little intention of actually stepping into the ring despite all the public talk.
Big John Fury running his mouth, big gobshite, making a load of noise, making a nuisance of himself. Then he gets offered the opportunity. He's been offered the opportunity before to fight Joe Egan, let's be honest, and he bottled it, Mickey Theo. But the Joe Egan's the big one. Joe Egan stuck it on him and put loads out there to say, I'll fight you. And Misfits would probably show that. And John Fury has got no intentions of fighting anybody, including Joe Egan and myself. And he's had the option put in front of him. It's going to be X amount of pounds, and it's 7 figures as well. And he's just said, oh no, I want to get Tommy on, and made an excuse and talked bollocks, talked his way out of it. So next time you see him ranting and raving and calling anybody out and saying he'll fight anybody, just know that he's absolutely talking pure gobshite, because that's what he does. So the guy just needs to go away. He needs ignoring. I mean, I ignored him last time. That's why, because I know he's just full of shit. But now it's been confirmed. Go on, John Fury, piss.
Furthermore, Roman Fury explained that the tension started after Carl Froch made repeated comments online. He added that his father, John Fury, comes from an old-school mindset and believes that if someone has something to say publicly, they should also be willing to say it directly face-to-face.
I seen it straight away and I thought, what's going on here? But we all know Carl Froch had a lot to say over the internet, and my dad's an old school character. It's like, you're going to say stuff over the internet, come and say it to me face.
However, Dave Allen told Carl Froch that he still respects John Fury because he knows him personally and has had positive experiences with him, even if he doesn't agree with everything he does.
I know from my personal experience with John, I think he's a good man. He's been a very good man to me personally. Doesn't mean I have to agree with everything, with all his actions, but at the same time, I have a lot of respect for him because I know him firsthand. It's different.
Eddie Hearn said the clash between Carl Froch and John Fury has created huge attention, but he believes any dispute should be settled properly in a regulated boxing environment rather than through public confrontations.
I like it.
It's great.
Yeah,
I mean,
it is. I mean, look, Froch, I'd like to see it go off, if I'm honest with you. Do you know what I mean?
You think it ever would?
John Fury's a big lump, but I'd actually back Carl Froch against virtually anyone on the cobbles. Do you know what I mean? So,
Would you watch it on Misfits?
probably.
Lennox Lewis said the altercation caught him off guard, though he noted that John Fury is known to get fired up around big events and may simply have been venting his emotions. Lewis also recalled that Fury once claimed he wanted to fight him in his prime, a remark Lewis said he never really took seriously.
I wasn't expecting it, but I know that he blows up before press conferences and, you know, he's just getting some steam off, blowing some steam off.
He said he wanted to fight you in your prime. Do you remember that?
Yes, he did. I remember that. And I was like, he's not serious, is he? We didn't really take him too serious, but he did offer the fight.
Ade Oladipo questioned why John Fury confronted Carl Froch, suggesting that Froch's earlier criticism of Tyson Fury may have helped fuel the tension between them.
As for John chasing Carl down, I mean, it's just, you know, I watched that and I was thinking, what did Carl do? Then I watched a couple of videos where Carl does have a go at Tyson. And I think, you know who fucked up there? Netflix. Why would you get someone that clearly doesn't really like Tyson on a Tyson card? Or at least in the studio to present. So you can understand why John's like, well, you're making money off my son fighting. No, I don't. I kind of get that. But also on my side, I was like, well, you can't even talk about anyone now without people getting upset. Now, if Carl can't talk about you as an ex-world champion, then fuck me, I do not have a chance. So it just kind of made me feel like everyone's a bit too sensitive, really. But look, I like John. I like the Furies. I like all of them. I've always said that I think they bring so much excitement to the boxing game. Shane, Tyson, John, all their clan, Tommy. But they can't get upset at someone like Carl having an opinion. They should be able to have an opinion without someone screaming and shouting at you. That's my thoughts.
Adam Smith said he only observed the incident from afar, but believes Carl Froch's earlier comments about the Fury likely contributed, adding that the strong personalities involved would make any shared platform highly entertaining.
Carl Froch and John Fury earlier. Did you see any?
At a distance, with my binoculars on, something was going on. I'd imagine it's Carl having a go at the Furies, probably over his time on his channel, maybe, I'm guessing, and John didn't like that and wants to have a fight with him, something like that.
It was something like that. I don't think he was necessarily turning down a fight.
What I do know is that John Fury and Carl Froch on the cobbles will be fun. I think they both have a good fun doing that, but I'm sure it's all fun and games. They like to say what they believe. They like to say something that's controversial, and they're two big characters, and we love having them around the sport. So let's leave them to work.
Simon Jordan said that while he once respected John Fury's voice in boxing discussions, he feels Fury's recent behavior has become overly theatrical, adding that Carl Froch was simply doing his job and is unlikely to be intimidated.
I like John Fury. I've met him on a number of occasions and I've always felt him to be a very educated voice around boxing. His recent incarnation over the last 2 or 3 years of John becoming front and centre of the circus, like a Cirque du Soleil horror show, I think that's embarrassing. I think Carl Froch is putting in a video. By the way, Carl Froch is standing right there when he's saying, where is he? Carl Froch is doing his first broadcast for Netflix. He doesn't want any of this. The one thing I don't think Carl Froch is frightened of is John Fury. I know it's theatrics. I know it's part of the show. I know it brings noise, and I suppose in its space it does its job. But is it not just a tad embarrassing?
Listen, you said it yourself, in its space it does a job, and I think we live in that world today where now people, you know, it was a press conference that was always going to be maybe a little quiet because Makhmudov doesn't speak particularly great English. He's not really going to say too much. Tyson Fury done his thing and he was talking about Anthony Joshua and the tragedy there and the circumstances for him coming back into boxing. That was all great. But that John Fury always adds a little bit of spice and that's what gets people watching. So I suppose it done its work. And you've got your own opinion on whether it was embarrassing or not embarrassing.
Is it good spice, Holly? Is it good spice?
I'll tell you what. Listen. From one side, I'm a fan of Netflix getting involved in boxing because it broadens it out in so many viewerships. But on the other end, I sometimes question what Netflix puts on, and I'm saying, do they really have the best interest of boxing, or are they just looking for the clickbait of the moment? And when you're looking for the clickbait of the moment, this is yet another example of that. You know, the Furies have a lightning rod image. Obviously, Tyson backs it up. He can fight, okay? Yep. He's accomplished everything. But then you got this kind of thing here. You know, you make the point about Makhmudov's not really an opponent that's going to sell a fight either. You know, Fury's just coming back in as well. People love a train wreck, man. You know, I hate to say it. We're in a generation where the train wreck sells.